Welcome, everyone, to the third instalment of the Full Mock AFL Draft Live. And every year, we add some glitz and we add some glamour. So we have a new contestant this week, but what I'll do is I'll go through everyone so you know who everyone is. So joining me first, making his debut in this format, aren't you, DamoSC, the super coach legend himself?
I think I was here a few years ago, but yeah, this is my second time, I think, with you, Pommy, but I've got a better draft hand this time around, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you have? Yeah, I remember you were the first ever live draft, weren't you, in this installment?
Yeah, I believe so, and I pretty much effed up every live trade that I tried to do as well, so everyone in the comments absolutely loved me.
Yeah, I do remember I was the beneficiary on one of them. But Damo, you're representing Fremantle, GWS and Richmond. So
yeah,
you've got three really different types of teams, three different needs.
Yeah.
Which team, when we randomly draw this, did you get excited you'd got? I'm guessing it's Fremantle.
Yeah, I mean, Fremantle's draft is going to be fairly straightforward. It's not a lot to think about. There's a certain groups of players that are likely going to be available at their picks, when it's pretty much just got to pick the best one of the group that's at that pick. And but when I got Richmond, I was kind of like, there's multiple strategies to go with this. 8 picks. They're going to get to a point where even though they're at like pick 11, they're going to have to start going for needs rather than the best available, because they're going to want tomorrow to come to today as quickly as possible. So I just got to work out when I flick that switch to needs rather than best available for Richmond. And then the Giants just really need to top up what they've already got.
Tell you what, I'm looking forward to you being the Giants, because I have got a plan for you later in the show. But joining us, making his debut live, his second appearance on this channel, he has been a little bit like Miley Cyrus in the draft content industry. He has come in like a wrecking ball. Your friend and mine, Dylan Alexander. How are you doing, my friend?
Very well, mate. Very well. Happy to be here. I did notice you gave me a bit of a train wreck with the team selections. I've got the Degenerates of Collingwood. I've got Dodoro's Essendon. I've got the Blues, and then the Swans. So I don't have maybe the most colourful. I'm a little bit like jealous of Damo getting Freo and the Tigers, but we should still be able to get some pretty cool selections in.
Yeah, when yours got drawn out, and this was like a total list randomizer, so I was actually happy a Carlton fan didn't get Carlton, but some real intriguing selections, because you've got some real good juicy selections, probably outside of the top 30, where I think no one's really talking about, but it is a deep draft. Are you excited about getting your hands on who someone might slide? Because there's definitely going to be an exciting slider there, isn't there?
I think the most interesting team that I've got to work with there is Sydney. And they've got those back-to-back picks that they got off North Melbourne last year, those future firsts. So I think those are the ones, like, you can get some really good quality around there. There's some key position players and also some nice little small forwards. So I think that'll be the most interesting.
I really liked your selections. When we've all done mock drafts here. I actually think Sydney, like you say, that they're an intriguing one, aren't they? Because there's so many ways you could go with Sydney. And when I did my mock draft, there's just so many good players that potentially could slide there, that they could be the winners of this draft period.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and you keep having those conversations with people and they're like, oh, you've got this guy at this number. How is this guy, how's it going to work out like that? But somebody, like one of these guys has to slide. And I think if you've got some of those picks in the teens, some of those ones in the 20s, but you're going to get someone really good, I reckon, from that top 10 group is going to float back in towards that 20 number. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
Can't wait to see what you do. And joining us regular on the channel, legend. He's a music genius. He's our very own John Lennon. Very good in a bar quiz, so I've heard. Ian Brownie from the Navy Blue Corner. You've got Adelaide, the Dogs, Port Adelaide and Brisbane. You've got some tasty selections there.
Yeah, look, it didn't start off well when I saw Adelaide and Brisbane. I thought, oh, cool, that I'm having about 2 picks in this whole draft. So nice to be topped up with Port Adelaide and the Doggies. And I think it's a really interesting crop, like looking at those lists and what they need. Obviously, you know, the Dogs and Port, they're meant to be those top 8 teams. The lists are meant to be in the prime of competing. But I mean, there's plenty of little issues that I'm seeing with particularly the Dogs and areas they need to improve. Will those players be available when they're drafting? Who knows? But a slew of picks in that sort of 17, 20, 30. So I'm very excited to get into all of it.
I'm looking forward to you doing the Port picks purely because I like to stalk big footy. And Port Adelaide, in their forums, but also in every other club's forum that's got an NGA or a father-son, Port Adelaide's name is the one who's going to ruin the party. So I'm really excited because if you look where Port's picks are, they're just around everyone's NGA and father-sons. I'm looking forward to seeing if you're going to be Dodoro or you're going to be Nick Austin and you're going to avoid them and play fair, or if you're going to be a mean one.
Well, I'm scared of Lekdog because I feel like he's notorious for wanting to bid on everyone as early as possible, make these teams pay. So it's going to be an interesting night.
Well, moving on to that, you'll be pleased to know that I gave Lekdog a problem himself because Lekdog has St Kilda and Gold Coast, who are both chock-a-block with NGA father-sons, and one of them's got a famous NGA and the other one's got about 2 role players there. So he's also got Melbourne and Geelong, but he's a great friend of ours, great friend of mine personally. We love Lekdog. He's always a breath of fresh air. We don't know if we're going to get cynical Lekdog, humorous Lekdog, or intelligent one. So it's always a risk. But Lekdog, welcome to the show, mate. How you doing?
Well, I'm not sure what we're going to get either because, and no offense to anyone in here, but I haven't consumed any draft content. I have no idea what the consensus is outside of the top sort of 6. I'm going purely on data and the profiles that Pom's done over the year on specific players. So I am looking forward to, I got Melbourne again. Now, last year I picked Caleb Windsor and Colton Tholstrup with their selections and got absolutely abused in the comments and in the DMs. And then Melbourne went and drafted them. So I'm feeling pretty confident, to be honest with you. I'm actually feeling pretty good heading into this.
Yeah, I do remember it. I do remember saying Caleb Windsor won't play 10 games and will be delisted by 2026. I do remember that comment quite vividly as well. I do like the way you subtly threw me under the bus as well there, going, I've consumed Pom's draft profile, so if it all goes tits up, it's my fault. Cheers, mate.
I've basically shifted any blame or responsibility off myself, and that's really what I need heading into this. I'm excited. I've got Geelong, Melbourne, St Kilda, Gold Coast. I've got a mix of early picks and a couple of teams that are going to have to make do later in the draft, so it's good.
Well, I'm representing... I have been called a bottom dweller by an ex once. And I've kind of lived up to that reputation. So shout out to you, Tiff, if you're watching. West Coast Eagles and North are my 2 teams. And I've also got Hawthorn, who I have been accused all year of being a closet Hawthorn fan. So this is going to be interesting. I'm excited about these selections because we're all in each other's way. So this is probably going to be the most exciting. So we'll get straight into it. And what I've done for you all, chat, is I went through the comments last year, read all your concerns and things, and we made this, which should come up on the screen if I do this. Right, here we are, media slot, and then, if I've worked it right, this should be huge. Boom. There we are, you should be able to see it now. So what you're going to see on your screen is you're going to have all the picks. I've put some little reminders so I can tell you where we were and give you a list recap. You've got your list sizes here as well, so we actually know who's got what, how many list spots. We've got the pool, very important, so we can go through there. And then we've also got the futures, so this is going to be some education for you, chat, as well. Done a lot of videos on the rules. We can see some practical. But we'll start off. Richmond are on the clock. And Mr. Damo, who is pick 1?
Before we get started, we're actually missing a 5th camera.
Oh no.
Oh no, we can't see the most attractive person in the group. That is an issue for the branding.
I have absolutely shafted Mr. from the start of the show. I have ruined you, Ian. So I really apologise. There we are. We should be able to see it now, and everything should be good. So, Richmond on the clock. Who are we going with?
Oh, look, I'm going to go really boring with this first pick. He is linked to them with the first pick in almost every mock draft going around, but I agree with all their points. He's kind of going to be that guy who they can put Dusty's old number 4 on potentially. They've lost a lot of players over the recent period, and I think they just need to go for best available. And I think Sam Lawler really fits the profile as a Richmond player, so he is pick number 1.
I'd like to say I'm surprised, but there he is, Mr. Sammy Lawler. He joins his idol's favourite club. Good, no surprise there, I don't think.
Nah, shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, was linked in a lot of the Phantom drafts, was linked in a lot of mock drafts, but all the points that they bring up always makes sense.
Does anyone here think there's been a huge noise on Jagger Smith recently, especially on the big footy forums as well? Richmond fans seem split. Anyone think that it's not clear cut and it's someone else? Is anyone of that school that it could be? Anyone in chat as well?
The only one that I could make a case for that they would go for at number 1 would be Finn O'Sullivan. I know they're keen on Jagger Smith, but I think that if there was any one of those guys that was going to slip down to 6 at their next pick, it'd be Jagger. So I think like removing Sam Lawler at this point kind of gives them that player. And then there's a couple of guys that they can get with pick 6. But Finn, if there was going to be one that they'd make a sort of late change for, I reckon it'd be Foss.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, wouldn't it be hilarious if Richmond took someone else? Because I think it would just... I reckon 17 list managers have penciled in Sam into Richmond straight away. So I reckon that a whole strategy is based on him being 1. I think it would be hilarious with my team here, North Melbourne's pick, if Sam Layla suddenly slid to 2. I think suddenly they'd be inundated with offers when they've been trying to push 2. Well, I'm on the clock, and you know what I'm going to do? Because Lekdog's here. I said it wouldn't happen in my video because I think North will treat their first pick with respect, but I am going to bid Levi Ashcroft.
Oof.
As
you should. As you should.
He should have been bid on pick 1 just quietly.
Mate, 10K.
I thought about it, but
10K.
But Brisbane helped Richmond out with a pick swap, so I got to keep the list managers happy.
Mate,
does
10K.
Does anyone here rate Ashcroft at 1, like as an outright?
I did.
Okay.
My ranking, it's so hard with those rankings, I think, to truly say one is above the other, but I've probably got him sitting 1 at the moment, just because I think anytime you've got those like father-son academy players, just the training they get, that little bit step above, so consistent, him between Jagger. Yeah, I probably just got Levi number 1.
Yeah, fair.
I did have a 2-hour-long call with someone the other day, bitching and moaning about how father-sons are now more elite than they ever were and they should scrap it. But, yeah.
I would like to say that you have bid. I will absolutely, before the clock runs out, we're matching that. We're getting our boy.
Okay, so we need 2014. Good year 2014 was, 10 years ago now. So we need 2014 points, 1425. Oh, there we are. Right, so 42. So we're going to lose 42, that one, and that one. And what did I say it was? I think it's 4 from memory. Yeah, so you're owed 4, so that would then do this. Look at this. You're
This is the
seeing
fun part.
Tell you what, look, you know what? Pom was a whiz in the era of ICT.
Mate, the fact that you do this on the fly is just absolutely insane.
Hey, mate, why do you think my wife's happy? Because I'm so got such dexterity. Right, so, and then you slide here, and we could put this as 4 points, but it will naturally oscillate. So you go there, and Levi Ashcroft is a player of them. You know what? It helps if you actually remember your alphabet. How hard was that to find Levi Ashcroft? Jesus.
No pressure, mate. There's just hundreds of people watching.
There is. Sorry, chat. Hey, there you are. But there you are. You see it. So, okay, that means I'm back on the clock. You know what? I'm going to back in my list. I am taking, with this selection, Finn O'Sullivan.
Yeah, fair enough.
Damn.
And you know what? I've heard Alex Tyru. For me, it's so easy to trade back into the top 20. I think, as opposed to selling, pick 2 or 3 as it is now. Take best available player, and we'll see what you guys do with the rest of it. But I know the argument is North Melbourne have drafted the same type of player over and over again. I think that's incredibly harsh. I think if you look at teams with mass amounts of midfield talent, points of difference are important. But also, I could see Sheasel becoming Sam Walsh at Carlton because they've neglected that point of difference. He has to spend 2 years doing something that he's not designed to do just because he can do it. I think Finn O'Sullivan comes in. I think Sheasel looks at it and goes, brilliant. I can be the player I was born to be. And we get a key defender elsewhere.
Interesting.
Mm.
Very, very
Lekdog hated it.
Yeah, it
No,
hasn't helped my Adelaide
I don't want it to happen. I want Finn, but at the Blues. But no, it's just now I have to do some adjusting. I wasn't expecting it.
I feel like it comes that pick kind of works with it comes down to what happens with LDU. I think too. Like if he ends up walking out the door, I think someone like a Finn O'Sullivan makes a lot more sense. But you've kind of just messed up my plans there, Pommy, to be honest. Because I got the next pick.
That's what I was going to say. Well, I mean, it does mess you up, but it also, I think, probably helps you out with your selection as well. Because I've taken one off your board.
It makes it pretty easy now because I feel like we've had this conversation like ad nauseum that Carlton need this kind of, pacey, explosive, lateral moving midfielder. And if it's not Finn O'Sullivan who has that little bit of point of difference with the aerial game as well, then it has to be the South Australian Sid Draper. And I think he would... there are a lot of links actually connecting Carlton to Jagger Smith in the last couple of days. And I could sort of see that in some ways with the movement that he has at stoppage and how consistent he's been throughout the season. But I think they'll go for that little bit more bite, which is Sid Draper. So, and that's how I would rank them as well.
Can I just say that I actually
for immediate? Oh, you go, Pommy.
Sorry, I was going to say I actually think if you've actually listened to the links, though, have you noticed that it's almost the same wording? Because 2 days ago, there was an article, John Rolfe wrote Carlton were heavily into Finn O'Sullivan and they're trying to get guarantees from North. They're not taking him. They're looking at it. And then the next day, Cal Toomey came out and said Carlton are going hard at Sid Draper. They've flown Vossi to have dinner with Sid Draper's parents. And then today... evidently, we're now doing the same thing with Jagger. I've got a feeling that there is no leaks from Carlton Football Club, and they are horrifically scrambling for a reason.
Yeah, it's a good point. Have you guys heard the links as well today with Adelaide trying to move up to pick 2? Which is strange because they reckon they want to try to move up to 2 to get Jagger. And actually wouldn't take Sid Draper, which is strange to me. And the thing that was also confusing about that article was that it said that they were going to leverage their future second, which they don't have.
Oh, okay.
That's great.
Who wrote it?
It was John Rowe, wasn't it?
Yeah, actually, I can't remember who it was, but yeah, it's doing the round.
Adelaide if that's the man they want, I think they'll get him at their current pick. I think the only reason you trade up is to snag Sid Draper, who I think just quietly, in terms of obviously coming at this from probably a fantasy perspective, immediate impact, and can play in the best 22. I think he's probably one of the better picks for Carlton for next year.
Well, we know I'm Team Sid Draper, and Adelaide. Ian, you're on the clock. We're
already being rushed in the comments. Gee whiz. Don't watch the actual draft if you think this is slow.
Oh, mate, I'm spewing because I think looking at Adelaide's midfield, there's a lot of quality running through it. I feel like they do need somewhat similar to Carlton, a bit more point of difference, which Sid Draper would have been perfect, that the man from South Australia. I would have probably then taken a Finn O'Sullivan, just something a little bit different that isn't another accumulator. I think they've got a few of those, even though Jagger Smith can still kind of do a few other things as well. But I think at this pick, you just got to take that best available player. And look, it sounds like Adelaide want this man. Well, you don't have to trade up to get him because it's a simple thing for me, and I'm picking Jagger Smith.
Well, I mean, so far, everyone gets what they want. Everyone's played nice. This is almost like the real AFL draft. We have all played nice. We're all backing up each other's plans. And that is probably the 5 names we expect. Melbourne on the clock. Lekdog, you welcome to the show now officially. Where are you going here with this pick?
Well, it's classic. It's classic me in a fantasy draft. I have a name there. He's top of the list, but now I'm looking at something different, which is probably not the way to do it. But no, Melbourne we are going to take maybe a slight potential reach, but we're going to take Alex Taru if he's there.
You're going to take Alex?
He was my number 1 pick on the board for them. I think they lack a real quality sort of intercepting general defender, and their key position defenders are all 45 years old. So he can probably bridge a bit of gap for them, and potentially with Stephen May and Jake Lever in the team could play pretty early as that third sort of intercept role. So he comes into the Melbourne Demons.
This is like absolutely insane if the draft went like this, because I think Damo's probably, I'm surprised he's kept his clothes on and not ran around the house. I would have been naked at this point. But Richmond, it's there for the taking. Damo, what are you doing?
There's a few names I'm looking at, and I'm surprised he's slipped through. I'm going to go for Josh Smiley at Richmond's pick.
Ooh. I like it. Josh Smiley. He's an interesting case, isn't he? Because I think this time last year, I remember we talked about this guy quite a bit, that potentially it's in vogue nowadays. Everyone likes a big-bodied midfielder. And kind of just been a victim, I think, of how good the other midfielders are in the league, in the junior league. He's kind of slid down, and I'm shocked to see him not in the top 3 reckoning based on last year.
Yeah, and I think at his size at 195 centimeters, you can sort of ease him into that midfield role, because he can act as a marking target early in his career, but then move into the midfield, transition more into the midfield as time goes on. And obviously Richmond brought in Jacob Hopper and Tim Taranto in the trade period a few years ago, but they're going to need a bigger body to kind of help the younger guys that they do bring through during this transitional period. So I think Josh Smiley's a really good guy that can come in and be that bigger body, and he's bigger than some key forwards out there as well. So his diversity is going to be really important.
Mate, I love it. Lekdog, you get to be your idol, Stephen Silvani.
Yeah, and I'm going to be Stephen Silvani. I'm kind of bidding against myself as a Gold Coast owner, but I'm going to bid on Leo Lombardo, and Gold Coast are going to match that bid.
Shouldn't be too hard, that. 12.41. 12.41. You know what, though? I do think, genuinely, and it's something that I've been trying to tell people, when you watch how bids work in the AFL, it's genuinely for players that club actually wants. They don't just, ad hoc do it, which I think people forget. People think people just do it to be spiteful. But when you look at the history of bids, it's genuinely been for players that we actually want. It's not like people think of, oh, okay, we don't want this player. They actually take who they would really take if that was an open board. So I don't mind that pick. So while I mess around with this, like, who is St Kilda's real selection?
So St Kilda, given they're very disappointed that they didn't get the player they wanted, they're going to take, I'm trying to make sure I've got an up-to-date spreadsheet, but I don't think Harvey Langford's been selected, has he?
No, he hasn't.
Harvey Langford will be going to the St Kilda Football Club with their first selection in the draft.
Mate, I love it. All right, let's do this. Leo, tell you what,
and he very quickly jumps pretty high in their midfield depth chart. I know they've got lots of mids, but I don't think any of them are good.
And Harvey Langford, who are you going to pair him up with at your football club?
Well, with the Josh Battle selection, I had a range of players I was looking at here. Some general defenders, some guys who can potentially play an interceptor role. But we're actually going to take Luke Trainer here. To add to our key defensive stocks with Callum Wilkie and Dougal Howard holding things down with Zane Cordy as backup. I'm thinking maybe we want to invest in someone with a bit of pedigree. So it'll be Luke Trainer.
I'll tell you what, he's been sliding in a lot of people's drafts, and that's an interesting selection there. Like,
as I said, I'm not up to date with any sort of consensus picks. I'm going on list position gaps and statistical data.
Mate, I love it. I absolutely love it. So there we are. So that makes it very interesting as I update that. And I need to give Gold Coast a pick for just under 146. So that.
That's what you get, I think, as St Kilda.
Oh, that's true. Christian, apologies in chat. I forgot to bid on Isaac Caker. I'm so sorry. That was 100% the plan. I just got excited.
Hey, tell you what, I love it. I love it. So we've got them there. And Lekdog, you are Melbourne. You are on the clock.
I might back up again. Jesus, hang on. Okay. All right. And I'm taking the players that I have listed for these other clubs. So... Luke Train is off the board. Apologies, everyone. And that leaves me looking at. We've had a think internally here at Melbourne. We've managed to bring in a guy who can swing, but ultimately will play defence for us. Leaves us looking at the front end of the ground with Jacob Van Rooyen, Harrison Petty, and Bailey Fritsch as the key cogs up there, and I kind of want to increase that a little bit. So we'll be taking Harry Armstrong with this draft selection.
Wow.
Love that pick.
Two key positions.
Yeah. So I love if you can do it in a draft and they've got the quality building that spine together, because I'm looking ahead for Melbourne with Stephen May at age 32, 33, whatever he is, and Jake Lever and Tom McDonald in that key position defender status. You bring in Alex, and then you probably swing Petty back into defense at some stage, and then Harry Armstrong pairs up with Van Rooyen. I think that's my long-term plan as the Melbourne list manager.
Mate, I love it. I love it. And Damo, you've got Richmond 2 picks, so a lot of players gone off the board. Who are you going with?
So Nick Vlosten, Nathan Broad's getting on in age. They've lost Dylan Grimes and David Asprey in that defence. They've just traded out Daniel Rioli. They've lost Liam Baker. So I'm going to choose Toby Travalia with this next pick, just to kind of give them another guy coming through who can play those sorts of roles, can be a third tall, can be a rebounder, might even move on to the wing or into the midfield at some stage, but a defensive-minded player that can just bolster those guys down in defence that might not be there in a few years' time.
Tell you what, I don't mind if you lose Liam Baker, Danny Rioli, and you get Toby. I'd say that's a net win so far, in my opinion.
Mm.
And
It's very
who you
high on
pairing
the
Toby up?
list for all my teams.
Who you pairing Toby up with?
I'm going to go to the other end of the ground. They don't have a lot of key forwards at the moment. Tom Lynch, who knows how long he's going to stick around for. Everyone else is quite young and inexperienced, but they need someone that can be the key pillar in that forward line. So they're going to select Job Shanahan.
I do like that selection. I am a big fan. You know what? Just quietly, I prefer him than Harry Armstrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, big fan of Job Shanahan.
I like it. Okay, well, I'm going to be mean. And I am going to bid on Isaac Craker.
Match.
I was going to do it at the next pick anyway, Pommy, so that's good.
So
I'll match.
I was just going to say, are Essendon going to... tell you what, though. I mean, you could see him slide... He's probably slid a little bit compared to where I think most people had him originally.
There's no way he's getting past St Kilda's second pick in the real draft. There's just no way. There's no way that Sauce is going to let his mate down.
What are we at? 12, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a better, like a more of a perfect match for an academy player than this one. Like Essendon, they're desperate for that exact player and they just get him. Like it's going to be, it's such a boom for them.
It is, isn't it? It is. And we can then put him on there. And where's Essendon? How much did I say I owed? There we are. Let's bring that back up, Dan. Oh, yeah, it was 308. So 308 in change. I've got Essendon there. 308. Oh, look at that. Tell you what, Essendon will be well chuffed with that. With how that bid's paid.
Mate, weren't they trying to trade back into the top 10?
They were, and they could still do it. I mean, they've got Arsenal, but the way this draft is going, they might be okay. Where is Isaac? There he is. Okay, so Isaac is there. And
hey, Pommy, how do we execute the live trades?
You just got to put the hands up.
Yeah, okay.
You just got to put the hands up and say. So the Eagles are on the clock. They've got some really, really solid players to look at. Oh dear, been a few sliders as well. I did want Toby. You know what? I am going to bring in Bo Allen. I think he slid a little bit from where I rank him. And I'll be honest, I didn't have him on my list of players for West Coast because I thought someone would be mean and take him early. So I'm chuffed with that. Bo Allen, come on down to my Eagles for the day.
Yeah, wow. This puts me in a tough spot for Port, I reckon.
Well, Port, you got a few players on here.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, there's a few players that I have currently in my rankings that weren't on my little run sheet here for Port Adelaide because I didn't think they'd be available. Like, I'm looking at what Port need, and there's a small forward that I really like that I rate super, super highly that I want to pick for him.
Ian, can I cut you off here and offer a trade?
Oh, absolutely. Here we go.
Would you take a future first for that pick?
Oh, who's the pick coming from?
From Essendon.
Ooh,
That's like a top 3 pick, dude.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking about.
So, from Essendon, is it Melbourne's future first or Essendon's future first?
Whichever you like.
I don't think I can do it. I think I want picks in this draft for Port, unfortunately. So unfortunately, I will deny that. I'd almost be happy to kind of trade back a couple of picks, but no, I think I want to stay in this draft.
What if would you swap 28 and the future first, and then we go up?
Oh, let me have a look at that. This is the fun of live trading. So
Essendon currently with the bid matches, they've got 38, 41, 47, 48, and 49. Thank you very much, Mrs. Pam. With the change they got from that Keiko match, so there is quite a few picks here.
So what was the trade one more time?
So it'd be 28 and a future first. Now that I say that out loud, that sounds pretty good.
Look, I think you got to take that. If you're Port, I'm taking it.
So Essendon, just to remember, they used 28 to match the Keiko bid.
Oh no!
Oh, that's gone.
So it's now 38. The next pick's 38, and then they got the change 48. So
you said
38
yes.
and the pick.
The pick wasn't there. Didn't come across the table.
But it does give Port 2 picks within each other if it was 38 and that future.
Nah, we'll stay on this pick because, and this is tough because look, Xavier Lindsay's a player that I didn't expect to be available. I'm not sure Port necessarily need him. I know they obviously lost Dan Houston, and that's probably where I see him starting off the halfback and producing that drive for them. Murphy Reid is still a player that is around that could add to their already flourishing midfield. Look, he might not be necessarily the most need-based player, but I absolutely love this man. So I'm taking Xavier Lindsay at this pick. I just think you get the best available.
You know what's broke my heart as well? Lekdog's ruined my North Melbourne plan. I was literally going to put in a bid for Luke Traynor at Brisbane's first pick. I mean, at GWS's first pick, I'm absolutely devastated. I apologise to North fans out there. I'll have to come up with another backup plan. But I'm genuinely sad. I actually want to cry. But Xavier Lindsay, great pickup. I do like it. It's a good deal. Mr. Damo, I believe it's you next, and I believe it's Fremantle.
Pommy, while you're doing that, can you show me what my Gold Coast picks are now that I got Lombardo?
Yeah, Gold Coast, you have now been relegated to 61. And yeah, that's it.
Sick.
Hey, Damo, same deal for you with the Essendon deal for Freo.
No, I'm gonna let that one go. So Freo brought in Shea Bolton in the trade period, but it'd be nice to have someone they can pair him up with who can play a very similar role. They've got small forwards like Sam Switkowski, Bailey Banfield, who are kind of a little more defensively minded, don't really think about hitting the scoreboard first. So the Dockers are going to pick Joe Berry with their pick.
Oof. The Bazza.
If you ask me, I would assume that Joe Berry has been in the AFL 3 times already. It feels like a very AFL name.
There's about 12 berries already playing. It's insane.
It does actually, doesn't it? Yeah. And also another Joe Barry, another small forward in the first round. Nick Austin invented that. And since then, we always get small forwards now in the first round. Good pick, that, Joe. Damo, I like that. I like Joe Barry for you. GWS.
There was a time not too long ago where this guy was actually being talked about as a top 10 pick and was in a lot of top 10 power rankings. But through various mechanisms and club needs and club trades, he's slid all the way down. And the Giants are going to select Murphy Reid.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like, That is a very GWS selection.
Yeah,
I
and you
can't
can
say
tell
anything else other than that.
He's gonna be the best player in the draft as well. Now he's gone to GWS as well. You can see it. Who are you pairing him up with? You know what? I'm so gutted that Luke Trainor's off the board. Like, I really, really, really wanted him for North Melbourne.
Now, I know there was a St Kilda fan in chat that hated that, but this was run by a St Kilda committee.
You know what? While you're thinking about it, we will offer you for this GWS pick.
Who's we?
North Melbourne.
Okay.
Well, here we go.
No, actually, I think it'll slide to 25. Ignore it. I'll ring you up when it's at pick 25.
If it wasn't for an ACL, this guy would be a top 10 pick. The Giants select Taj Houghton.
Yeah, damn. The Dogs aren't happy.
I think every draft board I've seen as well, mine included, Taj Houghton's gone to this guy as well. I think. Did you had him there as well, didn't you, Dylan?
To the Giants?
Yeah.
No, I actually had him to the Saints.
Oh, yeah.
In my mock, one of them I had to the Saints, and I did a club by club and might have put him to Richmond at one of the. I had him pretty high. I still had him in the top 10, like one of the Saints' first picks, or Richmond at 10 and 11.
Mate, I love it. I love it. Tell you what, my draft board is. I'm thinking here, but Ian, Western Bulldogs, they in a great position.
Yeah.
What are they looking for here?
Well, this is what I find so interesting about the Dogs list, where I'm almost just trying to pick best available for a lot of the picks that they've got. They've got another one coming up very shortly as well. So I'm trying to almost predict who could be available, looking at different list needs. But there could be that look for that midfielder, and I was hoping one would slide to me here. Looking at the Dogs, they've got an aging sort of core in there. Libbers, over the 30s. Same for Treloar. They need some young midfielders in there. So I was looking at Cooper Hines initially, but I think probably their biggest need is someone else for Cody Waitman, and maybe someone that can also pinch hit in the midfield with a bit of pace. So I'm going Jesse Detoli for this pick. Is around this range, and I just think that it suits the Dogs perfectly. Small forward, can go in the midfield. Why not? It's almost the quintessential like Bevo player, because he can play in so many different positions. So watch him play as a back pocket instead or something.
Pot shot. I love it. I was going to say halfback flanker because Beveridge doesn't know. Well, I mean, that brings us back to Richmond and and Sydney in the weight here, but Richmond's pick in between Sydney. Who are you going to save from the shackles of Sydney?
I'm at the point where I think I got to go for needs. I got two midfielders or midfield forward type in Sam Lula, I guess, but then I got a backman. I got a forward. I think I just need to go for some just solid players that can come in pretty quickly and just earn some games and get some experience. So Cooper Hines with Richmond's next pick.
You know what? I love it. I do love it. I love the selection. You know what? I call him the Audi Harvey Langford. Harvey Langford without marketing. I'm a big fan of Cooper Hines. Very underrated. I like that. I like that selection. And that puts you on the clock, Dylan. Sydney, some real good players there. Where are you going with this?
Yeah, and I've got to be tactical about this because I've got another selection for the Swans coming up in a couple, similar to Ian, what he said before. I would like a key position player with this, but then they also have Joel Cochran, the key position defender, coming in a little bit later. I'm going to select with this pick, Ollie Hannaford. the gun little
Ooh.
pressure forward. I think he's going to be perfect because I see Sydney restructuring up a little bit in 2025 and going a little bit smaller. And I just think he's the perfect sort of pressure player. He can run through the midfield a little bit and kind of just, I don't know, I don't feel like they have a player exactly like that.
None of my teams have picks for about 2 rounds, but I'm still annoyed you took him. I was hoping somehow he'd get to my teams.
It's a good selection as well. It's a good selection. Mr. Damo, Richmond.
Richmond needs some ruckman developing on the list. Alex Dodson.
Oh, wow.
Oh, the Doddy. The Doddy. The Doddy. Okay. Alex Dodson. That is A. That's easy. I like it when it's an easy one. Okay, cool. So we'll put him in there. I'm going to ring you up as the list manager at North Melbourne. And I am going to offer you North Melbourne's future second for pick 24. Remember, we're rubbish. And
Sell it, Tom, sell it. And you're so good, you don't even need picks.
you don't even need this pick. I mean, come on, GWS is going to buy... You've picked the same player twice, Murphy Reid and Taj Houghton. You're just going to pick another guy. You've already got loads of midfield forwards. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, okay.
That's Damo just going, I don't want to have to argue with you, Pom, on this one. I'll just say yes.
Yeah, you can do. Please don't make it out like I've intimidated him into it. I haven't meant to. Okay, with this selection, Jagger's already off the board, guys. He went with Adelaide.
He went ages ago, didn't he? Yeah.
For those
Adelaide got him.
Okay, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do what most great teams do. Brisbane Lions. I want Sam Marshall.
Oh, no. Like, I'll be honest, this is... I know we're meant to be impartial, but I didn't bid when I was the Dogs because I was going to see just if anyone else was paying attention on it. But yes, we're, of course, matching for that one there.
I was hoping you didn't do a Dodoro on me and say, all right, have him. Because then I
want to see that one day where a really high prospect, just the club goes, nah, don't worry.
It happened once before. We've got to remember. It did happen with, I've forgotten his name now. Who did Essendon take? The young Indigenous...
Mosquito? Was it Evan
Mosquito, yeah. It did happen there with the young Indigenous small forward. And there is a cracking story I got told about that as well. It's one of the best stories I've ever heard about a conversation in the canteen where they pretended they were worried that someone was bidding on Mosquito in the next 5 picks and they didn't have enough points to match it. And then the Doro bid and Hawthorn literally, if you watch the tape, it'll prove the story is real. Hawthorn took 4.8 seconds to say, nah, have him. Absolute brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So you've got to find 6 18s worth of points. Brisbane, that'll be...
Do they have enough for me?
Yes, they do.
They do. Okay.
Yeah, they do. They will have 30, 29. Ironically, they stay. They'll have what? 624 minus 618 is what? 6. So they'll have 6 points left.
Yeah, good. Cutting it fine.
Put us in a deficit.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, the Premiers aren't too worried about it, to be honest with you.
To be fair, let's be honest. The league is Mickey Mouse that you can go into deficit for an entire first round's worth of points. I mean, so it's not really real, is it, anymore? But there we are. And then I have to give you 6 points worth. The next, so Sydney go down there. Brisbane come back there. Look at that.
You watch. That's going to be a superstar. Potential Brownlow medalist.
There we are. And then I've just got to get Sam Marshall. Tell you what, there we are.
Just pot shotting.
There we are. Okay, so North Melbourne with their selection. We've traded up for it. I'm going to go Jack Whitlock.
You've
like
just
it.
made Jay a very happy man, Pom.
Have I?
Yep. He's been in the chat begging for it.
Well, there you are, lot. I've got you one. Got you one in here. And we used a second. We used a second as well. We used a second for it. And big love here from Alpha Dingo for Dylan as well, saying you're going to be the new cow to me. Hope you're not the new cow to me. I hope you're nicer than cow to me, but
Then
we'll
you
go with
become
that. But
mortal
Dylan, you
enemy
are on
of
the clock.
Tommy and Oz channel.
You are
Oh, me.
on the clock.
I mean,
Yeah.
This is tough. Okay, so this is Sydney's second selection. I think based on quality, I'm going to have to lock in. I'm going to go double Whitlock here, or back-to-back Whitlock, and go brother Matt for Sydney. I think
That'd
they
be a good
need...
photo.
Yeah, I think they need a little bit of key position depth, like whether that's in the forward half of the ground. Matt's kind of shown that he can play at both ends of the ground. So, again, we sort of don't know, like with McDonald and Amadi and players like that, whether they're going to survive in the front half. And then their defenders are kind of aging out a little bit, particularly in the key position stock. So I think Matt works for the Swans here.
I love it, and that has actually broken our hearts. Lou suggesting a trade. Unfortunately, Carlton can't do it, as you can see. Carlton, well, they could do it, but you've got to
he's saying
say,
it's swap of thirds, but
but
why would Dogs do it?
But the Dogs would technically lose that trade because I'd imagine the Dogs would fancy themselves finishing below Carlton, so they would be handling a worse third rounder next year. So it's going to be an interesting one, that one. That's where Carlton are. Carlton, it depends on what they are. But Damo, you've got 2 picks, and this is Richmond's final picks, and you've done very well with Richmond. You got Layla, you got Smiley, Travella, Shannon, and Dodson. How are you finishing off the rebuild?
I'm going to finish off with James Barrett and Hamish Davis.
Hamish Davis.
Ooh.
Wow.
You know what?
Barrett.
I actually looked at Hamish Davis for one of the picks for Richmond in my draft, thinking about, he's built like a man already. I don't mind it.
Yeah, wow.
I do.
Is that
not
Richmond
mind
done
it.
now, Demo?
Yes, Richmond is now done.
So you got
So
what do you
that's
got?
Richmond.
Key forward, a ruck, a bunch of mids. What else have you got?
The
I
mids are
got-
big. The mids are real big. You've gone Davis, Smiley, Lawler. Yeah.
Yeah,
Layla,
I mean, Davis will start as a half forward, and probably be more of an outside player later in his career. That's the way Richmond's probably thinking.
Like it.
mate, I like it. Well, we've got on the clock. Ian.
Yeah, this is somewhat fallen into my lap a little bit. So obviously the Dogs on their last pick, they got Dottoli in. So we got sort of another small, crafty player. Again, I said midfielder. I want someone to replace maybe a Libber and Treloar in a couple of years. I know they brought in Matt Kennedy, but again, not necessarily really young. They've got Riley Sanders, but there's no one else sort of coming through for the Dogs. So I'm going to take Big Tom Gross here with this pick. I just think it's a simple decision to replace Libber. And who, you always talk about that learning, Pommy. Who better to teach him?
Did you say Tom Gross? You cut out on my screen.
Yes, I did.
Hoping I misheard the first bit.
Yeah, someone must have been whispering into the mic or something.
Tell you what, that is. Oh wait, I've just put him at the wrong club. That is a good selection. I'm a big fan of the Gross dog. To be fair, I'm a big fan of him. No, I like it. And there we are, Pommy back on the clock with the Eagles. Oh dear. You know what? Right, I've got Bo Allen. I've lost Tom Gross out of my selections. Fremantle. West Coast. So I've got Bo Allen. I've got my outside big body who can go inside. I want something creative and sexy here. You know what? I think this player suits everything West Coast want. And I'm a firm believer when I look at their list, they lack ball users. I'm going to go what I think is the best ball user in the draft, Harrison Oliver, Sandringham Football Club.
I am happy you took that decision out of my hands, Pommy. Thank you.
I'd be so bad in a draft room because you'd cut to me, let's presume I'm working a cart, and I'd just be punching walls.
You got no picks in the draft at all. He's still fuming.
No, I've got St Kilda, mate.
I really like that selection. I just think Bo Allen's more than a halfback flanker. A lot of people have just billed him as a pure halfback. I think there's scope there with his body and his size to go well ahead of the ball. So I think Harry Oliver is my future Shannon Hearn with better ball usage. But I'm chuffed with that. You know what? West Coast were the ones I was worried about. But Port Adelaide, you're on the clock.
Yeah, so we managed to snag Xavier Lindsay last time around. There probably isn't a lot of other players that have slid for me, but one man that I've earmarked is still available because when I'm looking at Port Adelaide, I look immediately to their key defensive stocks and say, where are they? Zerk Thatcher is just awful. Alirali is good, but he's an interceptor. They need something else going through there. So I'm going to get big. Jason Noah Mraz. Thank you.
I love Noah Mraz too. My boy. See you later, Noah Mraz. Tell you what, that is interesting. Noah Mraz.
I was so close to taking him at Sydney's pick instead of Matt Whitlock.
Jeez,
and I'm jealous now.
Does anyone else think that, that just because of his injuries this year, he's kind of like been totally forgotten about? And I don't mean this horribly about the other Whitlock boy, Jack, and Jack's brother Matt, but I just think Noah Mraz is such a superior key defender.
Yeah, it was such a bad injury too. Like it's one of those navicular bones in the foot, and yeah, even the footy that he was playing, I think he was still playing through it at the beginning of the year. So yeah, I don't know. He could genuinely, I think when you go back to the start of the year, he was probably in that top 10, top 15 combo. So yeah, great pick.
Mate, the old navicular, I believe it was his foot, but good player. Damo, Fremantle, do yourself proud.
Oh wait, is that right? I think I'm on with Essendon.
No, Essendon.
28 slid.
It slid because you had to match the bid.
Yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting that.
There you are.
You can't fool me again trading picks that don't exist.
I've got this really good YouTube channel you could watch if you want to learn about how the draft works. This guy called Dylan runs it.
I keep looking at I've got the old one here and it's not updating.
Oh, you know what? I can tell you what. I can log in. Here, tell you what. I'll do that for you. While you take your pick, Damo, you go and do that.
Freo are going to select Angus Clark. So
No.
Luke Ryan is on the wrong side of 28. They'll need someone to replace him because he's a pretty key cog in their defense. Obviously, they've blooded Josh Draper recently, who can probably be a taller player, take Luke Ryan's taller sort of role there, but they'll need someone to replace Luke Ryan eventually, and grabbing Angus Clark now sets them up for when that needs to happen.
Mate, I love it. There you are, Dylan. I've updated it for you, my friend.
Thanks, mate.
I totally forgot that some of you were using that sheet, so I apologise. I am a bad human being. So Angus Clark, the South Australian version of Harrison Oliver, joins them. And Lekdog, you are on the clock. Who are you selecting?
Yeah, so I'm pretty confident, and I'm not doing this, but I'm pretty confident they're going to bid on If the mids that are gone, I think they're going to bid on Camperella here. I'm not doing that. So when we took trainer with our second pick, we thought we could get one of our midfield targets here, and he's still on the board, I think. So we're going to select Christian Moraes.
Damn you.
Assuming he's still available and my list is correct.
He is indeed. He is indeed. So Christian Moraes joins St Kilda. Very, very St Kilda type player.
I just think he's the most St Kilda player on the board.
Like it would suit the sauce philosophy as well. Of we're trying to build our midfield out and then select someone that you've selected 6 times before.
It's like there's almost no doubt in my mind that he's selected by St Kilda at that pick in the real draft.
It's pretty much Darcy Wilson from last year.
It is.
Like they're both just going to maraud those wins.
And Darcy Wilson was every other player they've drafted every year prior. So it just made sense to keep the trend going.
Mate, I love it. I love it. So we will bring in him and then Hawthorn are on the clock. You know what? I've been excited about Hawthorn's pick for a while. So Moraes is gone. You know what? I can't believe he's there, right? And I'm looking at this, and ideally, I really want that conduit. Like, ideally, with Hawthorn, I feel like they want some backup for Mitch Lewis more than anything. I really do. I know they've got the players there, Chol and stuff like that, but I just feel like you can't at this stage when you're building such a supreme squad. I feel like you'd have to go key forward. And I'm looking, you've got Jonty Fall there, which I'm surprised he's slid. I really am. I've got Hawthorn fans wanting Tom Sims. I just think Jonty Fall is the better version of Tom Sims.
Leave him for Carlton, Pommy. Leave him for Carlton.
Leave him for Carlton. You know what? Hawthorn Football Club select Jonty Fall.
Nice.
From the GMV Rebels.
Beautiful.
I like
Ian, back to you, my friend.
Yeah. Well, I think the Dogs, there's one position that they definitely need someone to run through here, and it's someone on the wing. They have not been able to have anyone for quite some time on there. They've had Christian Poulter, unfortunately, having to start weekly for them. So I'm going at a very tall man, 194 centimeters, can potentially eventually become a bit more of a inside midfielder as well. But we're going, and I'm not going to say the funnier pronunciation of this man's name, but we're going to go Jack O. Is that how we're going to go with it? I don't want to do the other one.
Apparently it's Jack Ow.
Ow.
Jack
There
Ow.
you go. Let's bring him in.
You see, this is another one as well. You know, me and Dylan were talking off air just about how the best way sometimes to learn the pronunciations is listening to the radio and listen to the colour commentary on there. And this guy, I can confirm, bar 2 GMV games was called O. And I don't know if what Dylan's saying was told to the commentators, but you watch his last 2 games, the name changed. So I just wonder if someone knocked on the door and said, by the way, it's Ow, it's not O. But I would technically say it's O. In my opinion. But, I mean, I am a pom, so... I mean, I did invent the language, but take it as it was. But Ian, back on the clock with Port, and you've done very well with Port's very limited resources. Xavier Lindsay and Noah Mraz. Are you doing it though? Are you doing it? Are you going to do it to Carlton? You can knock him out here.
Oh, I'm so tempted, but the issue is, and this is why if I'm any team in this order, I'm not doing it. I'm scared that Carlton would say, have him, and I don't want Ben Silvani if I'm Port here. So I'm not going to bid. I'm going to allow it to go on for another pick. But yeah, this is going to be interesting with Port at this sort of juncture. I've been able to snag Lindsay. I've got Mraz. I still think they need some other small to run through their forward line. They've got Willie Rioli. They've brought in Richards, but they're missing a little bit of something else. And honestly, there's a few players I'm looking at, but I think I'm going to go the guys higher on my board just.
Don't do it, Ian. Don't do it.
Oh, I feel like I've done this to you every single time, so I don't know. Maybe this is the guy you want, but I'm going Big Dolan with this one.
He's gone Josh. The Josh
It doesn't seem like that is the man that you wanted, so it might have worked out well for both of us.
Yeah, it's not who I was going to go.
You know what? It's amazing that outside of Taj Houghton, and Dylan, I'm sure you'll back me up here. I thought their small forwards and their forward line was so impressive in the country. It's surprising only Taj is getting the love when they had so many who really put in a shift.
In the Vic Country team you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't know, I could see a lot of these small forwards that have slipped through here. I reckon some of these guys could go in the top 20. I mean, it depends what you want to call some of these guys too. Like a Jesse Detoli's kind of a small forward mid type player. Hannaford's a little bit the same, but I reckon some of these guys we're talking about here, like Dolan, and there's another one that I'm thinking about that could go a bit higher.
Mate, I love it. Well, I mean, Damo, GWS. You've done well with GWS so far. You brought in Taj and Murph. What are you thinking here?
I'm a little undecided if this is the best player to pick at this pick, but there's the other players have already gone. The other players are a bit of a reach, and they've got other picks coming. So a lot have been spoken about this guy recently. He's bolted up some draft boards and could possibly be taken well before now. The Giants select Hugh Boxall.
Yeah, wow.
Ooh.
You know what? It's funny. It's funny that he hasn't got any love, but genuinely, these people that go crazy in the combine and towards the end usually rise massively. And I'm surprised we're still talking about a mid-30s pick, but I like that selection. But Dylan, Cowton Football Club, who are you bringing me pick 38?
Pick 38, I see this as a little bit of a slider here. When I went down and had a look at Carlton's list earlier today, their key position forwards, just like the depth area in that part of the ground is just non-existent. So I've got to just mop up what slipped through here and go for Kale Jarine.
Hey, tell you what, he's in. We were just talking about him. He's another one as well. Commentator's Curse has about 8 different names that we were talking. There's Garen, Jerin, Dave. Like, everyone's called him all sorts. But no, I like that. And obviously, you know what? Interesting as well. What I'm going to say here to you, Dylan, is people have not talked about as well that Carlton traditionally have always had 4 ruck prospects on their books.
And a volleyballer.
Yeah, and we killed one, and we stopped using one as a ruck forward in Hudson O'Keefe. So he really does suit, really, if you actually did it based on what we've deleted this year. He is a huge upgrade on Hudson O'Keefe's ruck craft, but a massive upgrade on Alex Murkoff and Domaku and all them toes we've lost.
100%. I kind of like. I probably see him long term. I think he's he's good enough just as a key forward. Like that big body, he's really powerful, and he won't have to come in and impact straight away at the Blues as well, given the strength at the top end. But like he can just sit there and develop for a little bit, get some games in. I think he's a bit of a slider here, so pretty good quality for Carlton.
I think he's security for 2 things. One is if TDK leaves, I think long term, I agree he can be a forward, but I think he can still be that forward ruck. And then in best case scenario, in a couple of years, it's him and TDK, and he's sort of tandeming in that ruck for 25% of the game. So I quite like him as a selection. I don't like you as someone with some teams coming up with selections, though.
Well, Essendon, you're back on, and Essendon, where the bid came, has really helped Essendon out because they're really active now here in the nitty gritty of the draft. Essendon 39. What you going here with, Dylan?
I feel like this is such a steal for me because I was trying to throw away all my future trades to get in Joe Berry before, and I feel like I've got someone not quite as good as this small forward player, but someone that I definitely don't think Essendon have this type of player, which is that he's a bit of a high half forward, but also a bit of a hybrid because of his aerial game. So I'm going to select here Jasper Alga.
Ooh. Yeah. You know what? On my last pick I had I thought when I had West Coast here, I thought that might be the type of player I was getting. And when I saw Jasper there, it did kind of sway me because I'm a big fan of his and looking for the Luke Ryan. But I think that's a great... I do think in my mock draft, I said the same. Essendon, I think, don't have any small forwards.
No, it's really low quality there. This is who I thought Ian was going to select when he took Dolan.
Yeah, I see him much more of a marking small. And for, I don't know, just looking at Port's team, knowing that how many tools they had, I was like, give me someone just slightly more on the ground level.
Fair.
You know what? I'm ringing up you. You're on the clock, Sydney, right? I'm ringing you up. Will give you, Sydney, few academy selections for you guys next year. We will give you a future third for this pick.
A future third. What number are we up to here?
We're what? Good question. We're pick 40.
While you consider that, can you do a quick scroll of who's been selected for me, Pom?
If you go on that thing I sent you earlier, I've been updating that sheet.
Oh, God, you sent me something?
Yeah, do you remember? You asked for access.
Oh, yes. Sorry, yeah.
So the poll's been updated just from that last pick as well.
Okay, that's helpful.
Pommy, can you just show me who Sydney selected in the 20s again? I remember we got Jack Whitlock.
So Sydney, so far you've got Hannaford and Whitlock.
Oh, that's great. You're offering me Nah, I can't take a future third for this pick in a super draft. In a deep draft, rather.
Okay. We'll be back.
Not to talk shop while we're doing this, Pom. The link I have has no selections in it. So I think I've got an old link.
The link I have has no selections either.
Hey, I don't even have access, so we're doing well here.
Refresh.
Well done,
Refresh
Pommy.
it. Control R it, and it should be.
Tricky.
No, I
But
can't see
Sydney are on
anything.
the clock.
But that's okay.
Just give me
I'm
2
just going to
seconds
assume
here.
my player's been taken because I can't see him on my list.
You know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to take. No, I've got to take Harry O'Farrell.
Fuck.
That's
Yeah,
good pick.
Harry O'Farrell.
Good pick.
There was. That's Pom's noise there. Fuck.
With selecting Whitlock as well, like I kind of didn't really want to do this, but yeah, I have to select him on talent.
Dylan, can I just say you've embodied Sydney perfectly in this draft so far?
He has.
Yeah.
He definitely has. Lekdog,
Yes.
you're up.
I'm going to assume Hamish Davies went earlier,
He did.
He did.
and I'm going to take Lachyjack.
Oh,
Damn you.
So I think Geelong lacks. They've obviously got an aging, like sort of inside mid system, but I think where they really are lacking is sort of in some player who can play sort of as a general defender and I think he can do that. I'll probably play outside to start. But yeah, anyway, Lachyjack. Plus, he's from Geelong. Good Geelong boy.
Yeah, and it'd be a pick 10 in reality, and you find out Geelong have just totally manufactured his list spot to get down to 35. But Dylan, you're on the clock, pick 42. Essendon,
nice.
You've got Ugur Koken. You've done well so far. Who are you bringing in?
We're going to triple down here on the forwards again. This time going for a bit of a bigger body, a bit more of a powerful medium forward type. We're going to go with Archer Day Wicks.
Oh, I'm not happy.
Ooh.
It's about time.
I really like Archer Day Wicks.
Yeah,
I think
he's one of my
there's
faves.
I think there's some traits about him that clubs will really find attractive.
Yeah, I reckon he's the perfect for the Bombers too. The perfect Jake Stringer replacement. He's a little bit smaller, but pretty good aerially, pretty good at ground level, and very powerful.
Saints on the clock. Is Lekdog do a sauce here?
I mean, he has to, right? I wanted to do it with my last pick. So I'm assuming Campo hasn't been bid on yet, and
He hasn't yet. No.
I will be bidding on him. And to be honest, you're lucky I didn't do it with my last pick.
Well, there we are. Carlton and Dylan's pick 56 dies.
Yep, I'll match.
I'm guessing.
I'm assuming that.
And you get 13 points left over in change, which is pretty good now. You know what? This is why I was saying in my bid matches, there is no benefit from matching on bids with how many people go. So it's going to be interesting what they do. But St Kilda have matched that bid. Carlton have matched that bid, and St Kilda on the clock.
Yes, okay. St Kilda are in an interesting spot here. We've currently, with the 3 we've drafted, we've got 35 senior listed players. We've committed to Brad Crouch in the rookie draft, which would give us a total of 35, 38, 40 players that we've taken so far, that we have on the list. So I'm just trying to make a call on what I do with this senior list spot. That would put us to, okay. So I think. Someone talk amongst yourselves for 2 seconds while I have a meltdown.
Oh, boys, I've just sent you all an email. I mean, text, so you can actually see this screen as well now. I've shared this, so this should make it easier. You should be able to see the same thing, because some of you have asked for access, but now saying you don't have it, because I think you're all tricking me, but that's okay. That's okay.
Beautiful.
You want to be like that?
So I think So we have, how many list spots do we have? We've got 36 on the list before the draft. We've currently got 39. This will be 40, which will leave us a few rookie spots. So you know what? We're going to take, I believe he's still available. We're going to take Xavier Ivasic.
That is a very St Kilda selection.
I know. And I mean, taking 2 kind of similar guys. Yeah, no, I think they'd be happy with this. They've taken 3 guys who can be that next sort of tier of midfielders, a key position defender. They probably lack in the ruck department, but what's his name, who I can't pronounce, got taken a few picks ago. So yeah, I like that pick.
Mate, I love it. Do you know what I mean? It's very, very interesting. But up next is Ian, Doggies.
Yes. No, this is very good for me. It's worked out all right. I've been honestly scrambling for the last 10 minutes. So I'm glad you boys took a while on those picks, because I was struggling to think of who I was going to select for the Dogs. But I think one list hole that they definitely have to go is someone else to ruck. that is not Tim English on their list. It's bare bones at the moment. So I'm just going to select best ruckman available here and go Floyd Burmeister. I think it just makes sense for them to have someone else developing under Timmy English, and there's no rush for this man to play, so we can at least have some time to develop, because there's a nice ceiling with him, but he's definitely nowhere near ready to go.
Mate, I love it. I love it. Big Floyd Mayweather. But you know what? We're going to call Port Adelaide up at this stage, right?
Interesting.
Oh, am I? Give me a sec. While you think of that, let me just make sure I am doing that.
This is exciting.
Yes, I am. We're going to call you up. We're going to offer you a future third for that pick.
A future third. Wowee.
It's a bargain. We're rubbish. We're the lowest of the low. The wretched refused.
See, you say this. The issue is there's a player I really want, so I'm going to have no fun and turn you down.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the last player that is in my Port Adelaide spreadsheet of players available, and he's pretty much the one I was hoping to be available at this pick selection. So with probably one of Port's last picks here, I am going to bring in another key forward to help them out. Someone from South Australia. We're going Charlie Nichols.
Oh,
good pick. Good pick. Bryce, do you want to just say what you're saying in English? I moved the colon. What do you mean? We might be lost in English POM translation. Colon means something else where I'm from. And you're not... Collingwood finally to the table, though, Dylan.
Yep, and Collingwood have been crying out for a big key position forward, so I was pretty sure Ian was going to select this player with the last pick, but given I was probably lucky that he had Port Adelaide there, so he got the local product. I'm going to go with the 200. The 200 centimeter, very agile, athletic key position player, Thomas Sims. I think he'd be perfect for the Pies.
That would be a dream.
I was going to bid on Adrian Cole, but I've forgotten.
That would be a dream. That would be a dream selection for the Pies if he gets down there. No, I agree with you. I love it. And Dylan,
I'm back.
I think you're still on the clock for. Yeah, you are. You're still on the clock. You've got 3 picks in a row here. I'm gonna again offer you a future third.
A future third. What number are we up to?
Pick 48.
Nah. Right, who's offering it?
North Melbourne.
Oh, that's more enticing.
Remember, we're rubbish. Like, as the list manager of North Melbourne, I walked down AFL House today and they spat at me. So that's how bad it is. They're bullying me.
Oh. You know what? I think my guy's still going to be available, so I'm going to just give me 2 seconds.
This is exciting.
No, I'm going to use this pick.
Okay.
I'm going to use it. I'm going to take Nathaniel Salzberger and try to alleviate the big-bodied mid problem that Essendon haven't been able to resolve.
Mate, I love it. I do love it. I love it a lot. Okay, well, I'm going to offer you the same deal again that we did for these picks.
And this time, I'm going to take it.
Okay, cool. What I'm going to do is I've just realised we didn't update these. So, 37. So that's 36. So make sure we don't do that. That's got Sam Marshall. So you guys tell me who's your favourite selection of your teams at the minute, and I'll start with Damo. Who's your favourite?
I really like that I was able to get Toby Travalia, to be completely honest. I think he fits what Richmond need really, really well. I also like being able to grab Alex Dodson with those later picks.
Mate, I think you've done very well with your selections. Dylan, who's your favourite selection been so far?
Is that for me, for my picks?
Yeah, for any of your teams, yeah.
Probably Ollie Hannaford to Sydney. I think that one just felt super satisfying and just the right fit at the right time.
I thought it was a very good pick. I enjoyed it. Mr. Lekdog.
I essentially had 4 picks in a row from different teams, so I was happy with Langford to St Kilda, but I kind of constructed that. So I'm going to say Christian Moraes to St Kilda because they're going to pick him with their current pick 32.
Mate, I love it. Well, I've updated them sheets as well now, so that should be all okay. So 34, beautiful. That's 36. And then Eagles, we've taken 2 selections. And Eagles was 34, yeah. And then the Doggies is wrong. 31 plus 4 is 35. Okay, cool. So there we are. So at the moment, Essendon only need to take 1 more pick to fulfill theirs. Brisbane are already... Adelaide are fine. Brisbane would like 2. Carlton need 1. Collingwood need 2. Essendon need 1. Fremantle are all right. They can pass from here. Geelong need 1. Gold Coast need 1. GWS need 1. Hawthorn are good should they not need any more selections. So that's all updated now. So I feel better about that. And North Melbourne have Essendon have accepted our offer of a future third, which allows us to get into this draft. And we've done that and we've kept our first intact. So North Melbourne, come here. All right, so North Melbourne. And with this pick... Let's have a look who was on my draft board. I did this for a reason, but Sulzberger and Nichols are out, and so is him. I'm going to go all-Australian Clancy Dennis from Claremont Football Club, the centre-half back, and get our forward, get our defence sorted. We've brought in our defender. We did want the other Whitlock, but I'll take Clancy Dennis. I think he is a safe option for my football club, and I'm happy with that, I think. Hopefully you are, Centre Bounce, if you're in there. There we are. So then what we've got you on the clock. Essendon, Dylan. Who are you thinking?
Yeah, I think I can afford to speculate a little bit here. I think kind of developing there, they want somebody else to be next to Caddy, and I think there's a pretty high upside player still on the board here in Gabriel Stumpf. Kind of, went pretty crazy at the combine later in the year. Had a pretty consistent season. If you go and compare his numbers to someone like a Thomas Sims, who he played alongside with it at the Northern Knights and at Vic Metro. So I reckon he'd be a nice one for the Bombers to make a play on as a key forward.
Okay, fantastic. Who was that again? Just say that name again.
Gabriel Stumpf. There
we are. Tell you what, that'll kill your next selection, Collingwood. Collingwood will be gutted. I love that though. Good pick there.
They got Sims. Yeah, they got Simsy though. Collingwood. They did. So they did get their key forward.
But they are obsessed with Stumpf. His name is in there. But that's going to be interesting. Who are you taking with Collingwood's pick here?
I'm taking with this pick. I've got to go. Oh. Yeah, okay. I'm taking Sam Toner.
Oh, good pick. Good pick. No, I love it. Sam Toner. Tell you what, the Stingrays boys getting a bit of love recently, which makes me happy. But what was your thought process with that for Collingwood?
Oh, I feel like they need a little bit more in their small forward ranks. They've got I feel like they've got a couple of those hybrid types. Players like Jamie Elliott. They've, brought in Schultz from Freo, and they kind of just need someone that's a bit more clinical around goal, someone that can, hit the scoreboard a little bit more. So I think he's good, and they've got the key position player in Sims to sort of develop there. So I think they kind of work well together.
Mate, I love it. I love it. Damo, GWS. What are GWS doing with this selection?
GWS, well, they kind of need that mercurial small forward, one that can create something from nothing. So they think now's a good time to place a bid on Malachi Champion.
I like it.
Okay, all right. We're gonna have to match it, aren't we? Beggars can't be choosers. 34 list spots, and we're not going to really lose too much. Okay, because it's 62 points. Yeah, we will match. Meaning that knocks us out. Okay, we will match, unfortunately. We have to match it, and we get, 30 points back. So not very much, but we do get some points back. There we are. And we will... Oh, that makes things useful. Okay, you're back on the clock, GWS.
Back on the clock. The Giants select Will Hayes.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Mate, that's classic GWS strategy there. Two Sandy boys, two Claremont boys, for culture, and they won't trade home. Vintage sauce at GWS from you. I like that.
That's such a GWS player too.
It is. No, I love it. I love that selection. Okay, Lekdog, I have nicely updated that sheet for you now, so that should all stay the same. Lekdog, you are on the clock with the wonderful Geelong Cats.
yeah. Geelong are going to select Zach Johnson from the Northern Knights.
Zach Johnson. You know what? I think a very underrated player, and I think a player that would actually be higher on draft boards if there wasn't such a depth in these types of players. Like, this is a kind of top 30 pick any other draft. I really like that selection for Geelong. And that's going to be one of them players that turns into an absolute superstar in the next couple of years.
They probably want someone who can start off as kind of a forwardy mid and kind of learn his game. And I think he's the best available to do that. I think he's a little bit underrated.
Mate, I love it. Okay, up next, Dylan, you've got two picks. You've got Geelong, Sydney and Collingwood. Collingwood up first. Who are you going with?
Oh, Collingwood are up? Or Sydney?
Sydney first, 55, yeah.
Yep, got you. Is this Sydney's last pick?
I believe they've got one at 82 and 88, but your list size is, after this you are full with 4 on your rookie list if you want to.
I'm just going to take Joel Cochran.
Ooh, I like it.
Another key position defender, but he's a little bit smaller than some of those other ones that we've brought in. He's pretty flexible, very athletic, and someone that can kind of rebound as well. So he's more of a running defender, has the ability to lock down, which gives him a point of difference on those other ones.
Mate, I love that. I do love that selection for you guys because, you can still go and you've got 36 on the list, still got 2 list spots to play with, but I do like that because it gives you some rookie options as well towards the rookie end of draft because you've got them 4 spots on that rookie draft. So I like that from you guys. I like that from Sydney. Don't mind it. Don't mind it at all. Okay, well, Collingwood, where are you going here?
Collingwood, I'm going to take... I'm going to go a bit rogue here. And I'm going to take Jet Hayata from the Sandringham Dragons. He's a tall utility, sort of outside winger. Fairly raw at the moment, but someone that I reckon in a couple of years could progress into like either a big-bodied midfielder or just a sort of running, marking wingman.
Mate, I love it. I love it from you. Collingwood take Big Jet. Let me put him in to your list size board. 36, 2 to play. Excellent. Fantastic. Good selection there. North are on the clock. We currently have taken 3 players. Let me just double check. So 37 on there. Toby Pink comes on. We have 1 rookie spot, or we can go with a senior listed player. We're going to assume you see, we're gonna pass on it, and if someone bids on River Stevens, it happens, and we will take players in the national draft and in the rookie draft, should we need to. But we choose to pass here, and we will, because we have been very clever upon manipulating the rules. If we owe any money, it comes off our 4th or 5th. So go for it. I don't care. North Melbourne pass, and we will match or we will rookie list him. Adelaide, Ian, you're on the clock.
Quick question: how many list spots do Adelaide have left?
So Adelaide currently have got. You've only had 1 pick as of yet, with Tyler Welch to come, but you are currently on 36 senior spots. You've promised to take 2 rookies, so you've got 42 in total. You've got 1 on your rookie spot or 2 on your senior list.
Look, according to AFL website, Adelaide's only going to use 2 picks.
Yeah, thought there might have only been 1. So look, regardless, who cares? If anyone wanted to bid, you don't get a chance. That's how passionate we are about our boy Tyler Welch, the big key forward. Bring him in. We don't need anyone to try and bid on him. We select our own.
I'm okay when you do that at pick 400. It's good.
Hey, there you are. You have done it. I love it. Okay, on the board now, we've got Essendon, who... Let's have a look at their list situation. Essendon, I will keep you updated. So you had 31 on your list, plus 5 is 36.
Essendon should be done.
So
are we done?
Well, you've got 2 on your senior spot, which would then mean you only keep 3 rookies. But if you were going to go 6 rookies, you probably could take 1 more pick and then pass based on your list spot.
Yep.
It depends if there's anyone there that you like.
I'm going to take Jaden Ewan. I think we've lost a little bit out of the back line. Kelly's gone. Heffel's gone. So someone to run the ball out of defense, bit of speed, and good ball use.
Mate, I love it. Jaden comes in, and that is Essendon, 37. So, yeah, Essendon will probably wrap it up there. Dylan, Collingwood are on the board. Collingwood, their list spot to give you an update on them. Currently, you've added 3 players from memory, so that's 35. No one committed on the rookie sheet. You've got to take 1 more to fulfill the AFL minimum requirement. Oh, wait, that's Carlton. What am I on about? Ignore me. I'm talking rubbish. You have got a full rookie spot. You've taken 3. You are full, so this one has to be passed.
Right.
That makes it easy. There we are. Done. Okay. So, up next, I think it's Lekdog, Gold Coast.
Okay. First time I picked up my phone in an hour and a half, and it went to me. Gold Coast. So we have taken Leo Lombardo, Lennox, Hoffman, and we have... where's my list?
So you've taken 1 pick so far.
We've taken 2, haven't we?
No, you've only taken 1.
Oh, right. Well, we want Lennox Hoffman, which is, I think, a St Kilda Academy player.
He is indeed. And Saints list manager is yourself. Are you
me?
managing it?
So Saints should still have a senior list.
Saints still
spot.
have spots, yeah.
They are going to match it, although, and I don't know why I didn't sort of think that I had both these clubs. They don't really want to match it on a senior spot, but they will take it. They promised him. They promised his mum. They said, we're going to take him.
Well, that's fairly easy. You have done that, so you just lose your next pick because remember it is a 0 to match, but by the AFL rules, you just lose the next pick to that player. So we will bring him in. So let's just do that. Done. Okay, and who are you taking?
So the Gold Coast Suns, they are going to take most of the players we had on our list here have actually been taken. So let me just make sure this guy's still available.
If you
we are going
check...
to take Taj Stanley.
Ooh. Tell you what, that is such a Gold Coast pick.
It is.
That is a classic Gold Coast pick, to be fair. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. Okay. Damo, Fremantle, what are you doing with this?
Well, they committed to Jaron Carr as a father-son, but with the news of Odin Jones probably being inactive for the 2025 season, they've opened up another list spot, so they could probably wait and do that and take him in the rookie draft, assuming he gets through. So with this pick, which is their last pick, they're actually going to pick up Sam Davidson.
Oh, Richmond football, VFL. I love it. I was waiting for someone to get all excited with a VFL boy. I love it. Dylan, Cowton's list size. So, right, let's do this because I gave you Collingwood's one last time because I was an idiot. And that is my fault. Cowton, just to confirm, so we've got 32, no committed. You've added 3. So Cowton ideally want to take one in the draft or PSD. Entirely up to you here. Lucas Camporelli also on there as well, which they can rookie. But Cowton have got lots of rookie spots. What do you want to do here? Currently on 40. Cowton,
I like the player. There's a player that I want to take. So what's Lucas Camp? How many senior spots have we got?
So Cowton currently with what you've taken are at 35, needing 36.
Gotcha.
Oh,
and we've got
35 right now. Yeah.
And we've got four spots at the moment to be used between the rookies. We can use 3 rookie spots should we need. So
I'm going to go for a Western Australian here. Bit of an outside runner, wingman, half forward, silky type, Cody Angove.
There he comes in. And Cowton are finally at their minimum requirement. I love it. Cody comes in. Cowton still on the clock. What are you doing with this?
Oh, back to back. Can I rookie Lucas Camporelli there?
Well, you can do. You can do what Fremantle probably will do, and that's just pass. I passed and said, look, if it happens, we'll bid on him. But if not, we'll just promote him at the rookie spot. Okay, Hawthorn are on there. Let's have a look at Hawthorn's list sizes. Can I squeeze in Cody Anderson and someone else? Jog my memory on Hawthorn's list. Hawthorn currently have 35 senior. We've taken 1, so that's what, 36? Oh, so 36. So we've got 2 list spots. Jack Gunston has to come into there. Oh, we have no list spots. Okay, Hawthorn. You know what? We're just going to commit to him. Cody Anderson, come onto the football club. You know what? Come to the football club. We love you, Cody. Welcome to the club. You're a very good footballer. There we are. We got Jai Newcomb 2.0. Get around it, Hawks. Big Ken's in chat. Get around it. I've done it. Mr. Damo, GWS. I believe GWS are nearly full.
Yeah. All my teams are done now.
Okay, he's passing. Geelong.
Geelong. So how many have we taken?
You've taken two so far. So
Zach Johnson and Lachyjack.
So right now you are on 36 senior, no rookie A's, 2 rookie B's for 38 out of 44.
Are we full of rookies?
No, you've got 0 rookies.
Oh, okay. We are going to take a forward. And the forward that we're going to select is, as I click through the 100 tabs I have open, where is he? We're going to take Bailey McKenzie.
Oh, God damn you, Lekdog.
He always does this as well. Like he's just stayed there quiet for an absolute hour. It's the quietest I've heard Lekdog since I've known him. And comes and just pisses someone off. Classic,
just to ruin up my draft. Thanks, mate.
It's all right, buddy.
Classic, Lek. What a fucking harsh guy. Okay. West Coast Eagles, West Coast fans. I'm going to do you proud. Right, we've got 35 on the list. I've had to bid for Malacca champion way earlier than I wanted to, but I did it. So I've got 35, no commitments there. Okay, cool. So I can probably iron out these 2 picks. Okay, first guy, very underrated. I think he could be anything. Total victim of playing for the best team in the AFL junior division, and that is Mr. Luke Kennedy. Late riser. I think that is a good pick for them. I'm happy with that one. I am. I think very underrated player. A little bit of Cooper Lord about that guy. Someone that no one's given any love to, I think. No one's given any love to. So could be a good goer. And then what else do I need? I need everything. I'm West Coast Eagles. No offense to West Coast Eagles fans in the chat. I am going to go Luke Urquhart from the East Fremantle Football Club.
Is he related to the other Urquhart whose first name escapes me? Didn't North Melbourne have an Urquhart in like the mid-2010s?
Oh, that rings a bell.
I
think you're right.
I don't believe he is, but I could be wrong. But that's West Coast. We're out of the draft now. We're going to save that spot and see what happens. So that's West Coast. Happy, and we know it. Adelaide, they're full now. Brisbane, Ian.
Yeah, this has cooked me because Lekdog snagged the man I really wanted. And I believe we've got list spots, but I'm looking at the talent that's left, and there aren't a lot that I think really suit what Brisbane need, which is honestly not a lot left in this draft. So bear with me and feel free to absolutely pad for some time while I am searching high and low to find someone that works for my Brisbane Lions pick, because I am going to be a couple of seconds here.
Talk amongst yourselves, boys. Talk amongst yourselves.
Because
how many picks do Brisbane have? Sorry, do they have 2 left? 2 spots?
Okay, I will tell you.
Brisbane have 2 seniors list spots available.
They have 75. This is the only pick they've got left.
Oh no. Screw it. Let's just go tall and let's bring in Charlie West.
You know what? I'm surprised he's fallen down.
They need another key forward developing now. Joey's gone, so Charlie West it is.
Good pick.
Because they've committed to Sam Day, rumours are, in the SPP. So they'll probably try and make 3 selections. Jordan asking, fears Draper goes. We'll go around the panel. Me personally, I'm not bothered because I think we've got the legend that is. We've got the Camporellis coming in. Carlton historically don't lose talent to interstate. They have built a good culture. I'm not worried. And Damo, would you be worried if you were Carlton if they took Draper?
Teams have to be fearless when picking their players in the draft. They just have to back in their own culture that they're going to hold on to them when the time comes to re-sign them. So could it happen down the track? Sure, but clubs have to pick who they think is the best at their pick.
Dylan,
Yeah,
would that be a concern?
I agree. I think you've got to be fearless. I guess like if he was going to a team, like if he was going to the Blues, I'd kind of back them in a lot more because they're a good team. He can come in sort of, be nurtured by some of these really high-end midfielders. Whereas if he was going to a Richmond or a North Melbourne where he's going to lose a lot of games, he's going to be in Melbourne in a new place. So it partly comes down to, I think, where the club is in the stage of their development. But yeah, I do agree with Damo in the sense that you can't really be scared of it.
Would you be worried?
You'd have to be cooked to want to go back to Adelaide, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. No, unless he actively is saying that he doesn't want to be there, like the rumours were with the 3 named man himself. I'm not worrying about it.
Ian?
Yeah, pretty much echo what everyone else has said. You're back in your culture and everything from your football club, that even if he is hesitant to leave his state, that you can nurture him and make him never want to leave. And look, worst thing that happens is 3 years, 4 years time, he wants to go. He's a decent player. You actually get some decent value in for him. And surely clubs sound out this as well. They're interviewing these guys extensively. They'd know whether there's an inkling of him not wanting to come to us. And then it's that big part of that football club. If he has said he isn't coming to you, do you just back yourself in again? And maybe that's what North did with a Horn Francis, where you just take the best talent and think, who cares? We can sort this out, or we can bring in value in a couple of years' time. But nah, 100% bring him in.
It is worth noting Jason Horn-Francis as well was littered with rumours before he was drafted, even though he wore the North shirt, that he did not want to come to Melbourne. So it is worth noting Sid Draper has on numerous podcasts said that he's happy to play football. He's very like Mateus Philippou. So I think it's just one. Jason Horn-Francis has ruined it for South Australians, but genuinely loyal. But Lek, you are on the board. You do have picks available. Melbourne Football Club. You've added Alex Tyree.
Melbourne have a spot, do they? Okay.
Yeah. You've added Alex Tyree. Yeah, they've got a plethora, but you've added Alex Tyree, Harry Armstrong. Only got Ricky Mentha to worry about, but what are you looking at here?
How many am I at the moment? 35 senior, is that correct?
So at the moment, Melbourne Football Club are 35 senior, no committance on the rookie. You've got one spot on there. Ricky Mentha, because he was born outside of Victoria, can be rookie bead as well, and you have got a spot on there, but you've got 3 list spots in total available.
Yeah, so I don't really know if I want to use this. Do I want to use a senior spot on this guy? Okay. I didn't realize we had another pick, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to take Joe Pike.
Oh, Pikey.
You know what? This guy just has kind of, I don't want to say died because that sounds horrific, but the hype on him has gone. Because do you remember him in the rookie draft, in the mid-season draft? Everyone was saying that this guy's got loads of potential and he's just fallen away. And it's a shame because he's been fairly solid. Him and Ajung and Ajang are 2 players that have been really, really strong in that out that way in Geelong. So it's weird, but I don't mind that pick.
Oh, mate, he can learn from Tom Campbell in the VFL. It'll be good.
Mate, I love it. Ian, Western Bulldogs. Currently, Western Bulldogs, you've taken 4 players, 35. You've got 3 list spots, only 1 on the rookie A, so it does look like this pick would be in play. Is there anyone that takes your fancy?
I did not expect to be taking another player here, so I guess. Oh, this is tough. There's a couple of players that look all right to potentially bring in, so I'm just going to take a punt on this with one list spot I didn't know I had, and grab a little bit of a mature age player just to help the team. Why not? Let's give Riley Bice a go.
Oh, you prick.
Why not? He deserves a go. Bevo will play
mate.
him wherever. Doesn't matter. So it'll be a bit of fun.
Mate, he's been playing well as well
Yeah.
for Arsenal at CDM. Geelong, Lekdog.
Geelong, and what are we at now, Pom, for...
Geelong Football Club. Very interesting. You've got zero. I can't even speak. You've got 0 rookies in your list at the minute. Only 2 rookie Bs, but currently you are at 3 players. 37 on your senior list, meaning 39 in total.
So 37 senior with no rookies on our list. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're going to pass.
Dylan, my friend, you have your Sydney.
I think we're done, aren't we?
Sydney, yeah, you've got 2 rookie A's, which screams you're just SPP players.
Yep.
Sydney are done. St Kilda Lack.
St Kilda. So we took Hoffman with the match, didn't we?
Yeah,
Saints are done.
I think you're done.
Yeah, we how many senior list spots have we got?
I feel like dad here. 34. How many have you taken?
We took
34.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
So we're at 37.
32 plus 5, 37. You've got 3 on your rookie A. You've got 2 list spots available. I would say, yeah, this is a pass, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they've got access to Cole, and I just don't know if they think that someone's going to bid on him or not. IRL.
Yeah. But at this stage, you're in the 5th round, so even if you bid it, it costs you nothing next year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we pass. Yep.
And Ian, for Mr.
Pass.
Irrelevant.
Absolutely pass.
Well, there we are. Let's go and have a rundown.
Exciting.
Tell you what, we've averaged 234 people watching this continuously, so you guys are mental. So thank you very much for that. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe as well. But we'll go through it. Sam Layla, Levi Ashcroft, Finn, Sid, Jagger, Alex Tyru, Josh Smiley, Lombard, Harvey Langford, and Luke Trainer made up your top 10. Trainer probably the biggest riser, I'd say, from everyone's mock drafts. Been interesting, you know. I actually saw a comment. I forgot to come to this. I did a video on this, people talking about his concussion issues, and 2 months was billed, I think in the Herald Sun, 2 months of the year. But it's worth noting that's a Victoria State mandate, and it's Australia-wide now for junior football, any head collision to be effectively 21 days out of football. And I don't know if anyone's seen it. He's actually come out on a podcast today and kind of doubled down and said everyone said he's shit. So I think, and he's got concussion issues even though he hasn't. I do think it's very interesting. Does that mean he rises? Do you know what I mean? Because has people just been putting him lower down on his mock board?
I mean, I've just had him, again, I don't really consume the content. I know there's risk with his concussion, but I've just had him pretty highly all year. So, and I think St Kilda, I think they kind of hold themselves together with Wilkie and Dougal Howard, but I think long-term that's not a particularly sustainable position to be in. So I think he fits in.
Like Dylan, do you think he rises back up?
I mean, I don't know. Like the thing that with some, like none of us really, like as content creators doing the draft, like none of us really know how factual this is. And even like something I said it the other day on one of my videos, like nobody really knows what clubs are doing in this space with concussion and how they're watching these young players. I look at some of the AFL media people that are kind of in the know, like your Cal Toomeys and stuff. Like he started to drop significantly on everyone's boards, and those kind of people, I guess, are the ones that are sort of talking more to clubs. So you'd think there'd have to be like some smoke to the fire, but I don't know. Like, does he come rising back up? Like, I see him. If you completely take away the concussion issues and you go on talent, I still see him as a top 10 pick just because of like how well rounded he is as a defender. Like, he can give you absolutely everything. He can give you the defensive stability. He can give you ground level. He can intercept. He can kick the footy as well. He can distribute out of the back line. So he's so well rounded, and just looks like one that, even if you compare him to like an Alex Tyree, he looks like someone that could come into the AFL and play straight away. So I see him inside that top 10, but it's like, it is so hard to know what to do with that concussion information, given that we have a lot of smoke, I guess.
Yeah, mate, I agree. I mean, I think he's, in my humble opinion, I'd take him over Alex Tyree. I just think he translates better to men's football than Tyree does. I think Tyree looks good, but I think Trainer is good. And I think that's, if you can get him right. I like that selection, though. Good Josh Battle replacement. Like, then we had Harry Armstrong, Toby Travella, Job Shanahan, The Boy, Isaac Keiko, Bo Allen, Xavier Lindsay, Joe Berry, Murphy Reed, Taj Houghton, and Detoli making up the 20s, up to the 20s. Cooper Hines slid to Richmond. Richmond will be stoked with Big Josh and Cooper Hines, I think, as a combination there. Alex Dodson, Ollie Hannaford, Sam Marshall, the Whitlock brothers got separated. James Barrett, Hamish Davis, Tom Gross, Harry and Oliver, Noah Mraz, Angus Clark, Christian Mraz, John E. Jack, Josh Dolan, Hugh Boxall, and Kale/Gerin, Gurren, Gine, Dave went 38. Jasper Elga and Harry O'Farrell made up the top 40. Lockie Jakes, Archer Daywicks, Camparelli, Xavier Izovic, Burmeister, Nicole Sims, Salzberger, and Dennis and Stumpf made up your top 50. Then we started getting creative. Sammy Turner, Malachi Champion, Will Hayes, Zach Johnson, Joe Cochran, Big Jet Hater, Tyler Welsh, and Jaden finally made their way home to Essendon. And then the last picks, Hoffman, Stanley, Davidson, Angrove, Cody Anderson, Bailey McKenzie, Kennedy and Urquhart, West, Pike, Bice being Mr. Irrelevant. I really like that draft, boys.
I'd probably rookie Pike if I wasn't looking at the screen, didn't realise everyone else had passed, but I'd probably rookie him. But I'm happy with that.
Mate, I'm really good. Well, obviously, Damo, tell the people where we can find you, my friend, so everyone can go and say hello to you.
On Twitter at DamoSC, Damo's Footy on YouTube, or the Footy Mailbag podcast during the Supercoach season.
Mate, we love a bit of Damo. Make sure you go and give Damo some support. He's a long time been forced, a long time enforced person to come on here, but we always love spending time with Damo. Great content as well for your fantasy as well, and all-round good guy. I've just dropped, if you go on his Twitter, he has links to just about everything you have ever seen. Mr. Dylan, what are you doing for the rest of this draft off season?
Yeah, we've got some stuff in the pipeline for when the draft finishes. I'll try to have a look at how players are going to look when they bet into their clubs once they get in and stuff like that. I'm going to try and drop another mock in the lead up to Wednesday. And as far as the pages, like, you can find me at Dylan Alexander Follows Draft on YouTube and Instagram.
There we are. I've just dropped Damo and Dylan's links. Go and head on there. Both of them have got links to where else to follow them. Mr. Lekdog, you are a naughty boy because you aren't uploading regular on your channel, and I think it's a great concept, and I want you to start uploading on there. As your friend, start fucking uploading there. But Lekdog, what are you doing this off season?
I'm too busy doing the stuff to upload it. It's unofficial, but I may be returning to some podcasting. Likely I will have some preseason content going up for Supercoach Draft on Code Sports and Herald Sun. Again, unconfirmed, but likely. But just follow me on Twitter or Blue Sky, Lekdog, I'm around. I'll probably just be on here, to be honest, Pom.
Can I just say, you retired last year, and I had to try and find replacements, and spent ages finding replacements that I just literally called you and said, Lekdog, you need to fucking come on the show, bro. And your retirement is worse than Floyd Mayweather's. You're already back podcasting, mate. Absolute disgrace.
Yeah, I am doing more content than before I retired. So
legit, I see your face pop up on more podcasts now than when you were actually active. So amazing. And Ian, Navy Blue Corner, you're always doing stuff. Where will we see you for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so at Navy Blue Corner on YouTube, or if you like listening to your podcast in audio form, head over Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of that. Again, at Navy Blue Corner. We will eventually be doing a draft wrap-up show. I'm actually flying out to Thailand tomorrow over the draft, so I will not be able to do it the day after, but follow the socials, and then you'll know exactly when we upload. And then honestly, for the rest of the year, me and Lockie will maybe do a couple of different kinds of drafts where maybe we'll try and draft a bunch of the worst players that have ever played for Carlton or anything like that. Some more fun content for your off season. The more novelty ideas, the better. That's what you're going to get from us in the off season. But yeah, very exciting times ahead.
Mate, I look forward to it. As for what we've got, I've got a video tomorrow. It was meant to go up today, but honestly, I absolutely kicked my ass in the gym today. So I didn't get round to doing it. So there will be a draft video tomorrow on all NGAs and father sons. One of you asked about Adrian Cole, so you'll learn a little bit about him. And then there was another video. Oh, and also how many picks your clubs will use. We'll go through the spreadsheet, which is available on my Twitter, which you should all know. And then, very rare this, but Terry Degani is going to be a guest on this channel. Usually I'm over there, so stay tuned for that. We are doing a live draft watch-along, which I'm sure everyone here will be doing their own live draft watch-along. So make sure you go and spread a bit of love and see everyone. So I'm looking forward to having Terry on here, and he will be firing the questions. Everyone, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you go and head over to all these boys. They work very hard across the year, so go and give them some love. Until next time, though, we will see you later. Peace, love, and light. Everyone out. Bye.